right, happy Monday, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's see, let's do Yang News of the Day, episode 3. Okay, so no matter what the polls say, I like to follow the polls, especially state polls. So we got a couple state polls in here. I always find those to be a little bit more interesting than national polls. But I want to follow Yang in the polls, and also there are a couple Yang tweets we'll go over here in Yang News of the Day, episode 3. Let's get into it. Okay, so Andrew actually hit the top of his polling range in a poll from, what is this, South Carolina. It's called the Post and Courier. It's based out of Charleston, South Carolina. And the dates on this poll are between June 11th and June 14th. And the data is as follows. Let's reel them off. Biden, 37%. Warren, 17%. Buttigieg, 11%. Harris, 9%. Harris and Sanders are tied at 9%. Booker, 5%. Beto, 4%. Yang, 3%. And Gabbard and about 15 other people tied at 1%. So I'm just, also a side note here, I'm just glad to see Gabbard made it in a poll, just because they're leaving Tulsi out of a lot of polls. She's basically blacklisted, so it's great to see her name in there, pulling at 1%. But back to Andrew Yang. Okay, 3%. This is the top of Andrew Yang's range. We all know his range is between 1 and 3%. So this is big. In my opinion, this is big for a poll out of South Carolina, of all places, for Andrew Yang to be polling at 3%. I wouldn't have predicted this. And this is why I like to follow state polls over national polls, because you get peculiar information that you're not privy to in any other context. But Andrew Yang polling at 3% in the state of South Carolina is welcome news. Okay, so I'll leave that poll down below. You can look at it yourself. We'll move on to the next poll. And this is from Minnesota. Okay, this is the Change Research poll for compiled polling data from June 8th to June 12th. And the stats are as follows. Warren, number 1, 21%. Biden, number 2, 20%. Sanders, third, 19%. Klobuchar, her home state of Minnesota, 16%. That's the highest I've ever seen her in any poll. Buttigieg, 11%. Harris, 4%. O'Rourke, 3%. Yang, 2%. And a whole host of other ones at 1% or less. Okay, so we're at the middle of Andrew Yang's range here at 2% in a Minnesota poll. It doesn't sound like much, but once again, the context here is this is pre-debates. We haven't been through one debate yet. Okay, so Andrew's riding off, his internet fame and his cable news visits. So 2% in that context is really good. He does not have the name recognition of Klobuchar or Sanders or Biden or Harris or any of these other people who just, they're at the top of the political game. So 2% from Minnesota, that's looking pretty good. Okay, I'll leave that poll down below. Last poll here, Fox News poll for June 16th. Has Andrew Yang at 2% from last month, 1%. So Andrew Yang has went up in a Fox News poll to 2%. That's peculiar. That's good news. That's just CSI. I like to follow these things. So he's consistently polling at 1 to 3%, and it's good news. Just trust me, it's good news. Okay. After the first couple debates, we can reassess these poll numbers. And obviously, I'm expecting to see some improvements. But these are a good baseline pre-debate. Okay, moving on to a couple Yang tweets. Yesterday, Yang tweeted, quote, "We are at 122,000 donors and rising. Let's get to the 130,000 threshold by the debates." Okay, so Andrew Yang needs 8,000, just 8,000 more individual donors to qualify for the threshold on the September debates, which is 130,000. So Andrew Yang has qualified for the June debates. He's qualified for the July debates. And now he just needs 8,000 more donations to get to the September threshold of 130,000. So that's looking great for Andrew Yang. He's set up for the next 3 debates. He just needs 8,000 more donations. That's great. Okay, and then just a minute ago, before I started this video, a tweet came over the wire here, and it said, quote, "The speaker before me is Joe Biden," end quote. One sentence. The speaker before me is Joe Biden. So moments ago, we just found out that Andrew Yang will speak after Joe Biden. Now, I don't know if that's just once or the whole time. I'm trying to just visualize the formula here. So that's interesting. So this is another death knell for Joe Biden. Like the contrast between Yang and Biden, pretty much in any context, is vast. Okay. Even just in appearances, but I'm really talking substance. I'm talking about policy here. I'm talking about economics here. I'm talking about their outlooks, their worldviews, their politics. They're very contrasted people. So to have Joe Biden speak before Andrew Yang, that just opens up that divide, and that is great news. Because, like I said, Andrew Yang is going to blow a lot of people away, and to have Andrew Yang speak after Joe Biden, I like that. That's what he said. So, all right. What do you guys think about that? That's pretty cool, right? Like, share, subscribe, click the bell on the side.